All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, November 12th, 2019, and we finished with week 10 in the NFL, and it was an atrocious week for me. I only got 3 games correct. A lot of upsets happened. There's no real use to dwell on the past. I went 3-10, still picking at over 60%, still, felt well above 500. So I'm not too worried about that, but I did have a bad week 10. I did only get 3 games right, so hopefully week 11 is a much better week. Hopefully I got these games more correct. I took a little more time to get the picks right, to go over the games. So let's see how I did and get started right away with the buys this week. We've only got 4 teams that aren't playing. That's going to be the Giants, Packers, Seahawks, and the Tennessee Titans. So if you're a fan of one of these teams, you can watch your enemy team lose probably. So if you're like a Giants fan, you can watch the Eagles lose. If you're a Lions fan, you could, if you're a Packers fan, you could watch the Lions probably lose. Seahawks fans can deliver more suffering to the 49ers and just watch them probably win, but you get what I'm saying. So those are the teams that are by, and yeah, they won't be playing this week. Those are week 11, so that means we've got 14 games to go over, and let's get started. Thursday night football. We have a bit of a boring game, but at least it's a classic divisional game, a classic rivalry game. There's gonna be no. It's not gonna be boring in terms of like storylines of like anything. It's just gonna be kind of both teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 5-4 on a bit of a hot streak. The Browns are 3-6. They're very disappointing this year compared to what everyone thought they were going to be. The Browns are favored by 2.5 with an over/under of 40. I have the Steelers winning this game just because I think the Steelers right now are a much better coach team. All their players are playing at an extremely high level. Their defense is playing very, very good. Minka and Devin Bush, of course, being the highlights of the defense. For the Browns, we don't know what they are. We don't really know if they found an identity. The coaching situation isn't too good. It's a little too big for Mr. Kitchens to handle. So I know it's at home on a Thursday. That usually gives the home team quite the advantage, but I'm taking the Steelers on the road on Thursday night to improve to 6-4. Let's see how they finish. I said they'd go 11-5, so maybe they can win out and go 11-5. We'll see about the Steelers. Browns, I said about 500, and it looks probably about what they'll be. Maybe just under 7-9. Let's go to the Sunday 1 p.m. games. We have the Dallas Cowboys at the Detroit Lions. This isn't going to be very much of a game, sadly. The Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites with an over/under of 48.5. The Lions are 3-5-1. The Cowboys are 5-4. I very much like the Lions. They're my second favorite team. I hate the Cowboys, so this is a bit of a hard one to go over. But basically, the reason the Lions are going to lose this game is a lack of defense. They lost to Chicago, who can't score, and they let Chicago score more than them. I know Dallas has kind of, been up and down, wishy-washy this season with the 5-4 record, but they played pretty good for the most part. Other, than 4 games, they've lost to the Jets, and there's been some weird ones for the Cowboys, but overall, they're a much better team than the Lions, at least much more consistent than the Lions. And the Lions, I don't know what team is going to show up every Sunday. It could be the 3-win team, or it could be the 5-loss team. And my money is against Dallas at home on Sunday. It's going to be the 5-loss team. So give me the Cowboys 31-27 over the Lions. Colts and Jaguars. This game probably will be pretty actually goddamn good. I'm pretty sure Nick Foles is going to be making his return if he didn't already. Oh wait, he did last week. But Nick Foles is going to be playing against the Colts. I'm pretty sure not Teddy Bridgewater, but goddamn, I'm blanking on quarterback's name. Jacoby Brissett. Pretty good quarterback. He's 5-4 this year. Not exactly the best record, but it was a surprise season. Not really expecting to start. The Colts are favored by 3 with an over/under of 44. And I'm going to be real honest. I didn't really look much into this game simply because you kind of have an idea of who both of these teams are, and this is probably about what the score is. The Colts kind of lose some games in some weird style. The Jaguars too. They can win games. Mainly on the strengths of their defenses. That's what I kind of see. So, I don't know. This one was a hard one that you gotta just kind of flip a coin on, and this is one of them. I also just don't care about the Jaguars. So, it's really my biggest problem with pick'em games when it comes to the Chargers and the Jaguars, the Titans. I just don't care about those teams. There's certain teams where I just look at them and go, I just don't care. They always win they always lose when I pick them, and they always win when I don't pick them. So I don't know. I just didn't look into this game that much. So give me the Colts over the Jaguars, 24-20. This game shouldn't be close. The Denver Broncos are going to travel to play the Vikings in Minnesota. The Vikings are 10.5 point favorites with an over-under of 39. Well, this game could have been good, but the Broncos don't have an offense, and their defense is questionable at times. Excuse me. So the Broncos. I really don't think this game's going to be that close. The only reason I'm keeping it close is there's no reason for it to even be 17-24. Broncos. I mean, they're coming off of just having a bad year. The quarterback situation's pretty awful in Denver. The defense isn't playing as good as it should, even though it's playing very, very, very well. It's not holding teams to like under 20, which is what you got to do when you have a bad offense. So I don't know. Cousins has been playing good. The offense is hot for Minnesota. I don't think they have a very good defense. Dalvin Cook's good. Cousins has been playing the best football of his career. So give me the Vikings all day, just simply because of the offense is playing hot, Cousins playing the best stretch of his career, and Dalvin Cook. That's going to overwhelm the Broncos. Give me the Vikings at home. The Ravens and the Texans. This was the hardest game of the week for me to pick, other than the Eagles and Patriots, because you have two very, very good teams. You have the Texans, led by Deshaun Watson, and obviously the Baltimore Ravens, who just upset the New England Patriots. Ravens are favored by 4 with an over-under of 49.5. What it really came down to for me in this game was just quarterback play. Really, I just looked at like Deshaun's a great quarterback and has done great things with the Texans, and has won some very big games, has won some very critical games at this point in his career. But then you look at what Deshaun, then you go. I mean, then you go and look at who they beat. The Ravens. They just beat the Patriots. They beat Tom Brady. They were able to beat Bill Belichick. They stifled that great defense. So when I think about that things, I'm like, all right, the Patriots have a better defense than the Texans, regardless of all. They only played easy teams. Well, so the Texans have kind of had some easy teams too, and they dominated them and blah, 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 blah. So the Ravens played the Patriots and just kind of kicked them around a bit, shitted on them, scored 30 points. That offense is real. It's dangerous. It's explosive. Their defense is really good. It held the Patriots to what, like, I don't even remember. It was a really like 17 points or something. It wasn't a very good score for the Patriots. If they scored over 20, it was in garbage time. So the Ravens' defense is playing a lot better than lately. They're playing lights out. They're playing like the Ravens' defenses of old. Not quite there, but they're getting there. The Texans, they're very, very good. Great receiving core, great quarterback. Defense is a little questionable. I wonder how they're going to play without J.J. Watt against a team like the Ravens, who run the ball very well, who can run around, who can throw it well. Basically, I just think the Ravens' offense is a bit too much for the Texans, who have a good football team on offense. Defensively, they're a little questionable. They've been playing very good on defense lately. But, again, Ravens' offense is red hot. They just beat the Patriots, served 31 against the Patriots or something like that. So any team that's capable of just beating up on the Patriots' defense this year and last year, I'm liking their chances against most teams. Give me the Ravens 28-24 over the Texans. Let's go to the next slate of 1 p.m. games. I don't care about this game. I picked the Redskins to win just because they're at home, and they're favored by 13.5 points with an over-under of 45.5. I'm sure Darnold's going to see some ghosts. I'm sure Dwayne Haskins is going to see ghosts. This is going to be the most terrifying game probably in NFL history until the Bengals play the Dolphins in Week 16. Give me the Redskins over the Jets. Another game that's really going to be terrible to watch. The Atlanta Falcons are playing the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. The Panthers are 5.5 point favorites with an over-under of 50.4 somehow. Yeah, 50.4 was the over-under. That's how bad Atlanta is, and I don't even really have to talk about how good the Panthers are. They've been playing good football. Kyle Allen's had a decent run as a starter. I think he's lost one game as a starter because they had 2 or 3 losses when he took it over. Either way, he's only lost a couple games, if not one. Falcons are having a very, very rough year at 2-7. I thought they'd be a lot better at about 12-4. I think the whole NFL world thought they were going to have a good year because, I mean, they put up good numbers last year. They just couldn't win because the defense was hurt. Now the defense is not hurt, and they still suck. So give me the Panthers 28-17. This game won't be close. Next game, it's like they put all the bad games right in a row, everybody. So now we have the Buffalo Bills at Miami Dolphins. The only thing that's kind of interesting about this game is the fact that it's a division rivalry game, so those always have a little bit more excitement to them. There's always a bit more energy in those, so maybe we'll see the Dolphins do something against the Bills defense, but I doubt it. The Bills have absolutely dominated every bad team they played this year. They've almost beat the Patriots this year. They're a very decent 6-3 football team. They could be a wild card team if everything continues to play out the way it does. This is going to be a big game for Buffalo. They're going to have to win it because you got to keep up with the Steelers. You got to keep up with with whoever doesn't win the AFC West and maybe the AFC South. So you got some people to keep up with. Some very good teams that are going to be vying for a wild card slot. Buffalo is kind of in a driver's seat with only the 3 losses. So they kind of got to just keep winning, and this is a must-win. So give me the Bills 21-14. Don't really care about the line or the over-under because it's irrelevant in this game. Another game that everybody knows what's going to happen. This is the only one I could see with the upset potential out of all the games I just talked about, just because the Buccaneers and Saints play weird football games against each other. I believe the Bucs actually beat them this year. I'm probably wrong about that, but I swear I remember the Bucs beating the Saints earlier this year. I could be wrong. I probably am. It's just one of those things. I think they're one of the 2 losses for the Saints, but Drew Brees is going to be playing. It didn't really matter the first time, I think. The way the Saints play, the way the Saints as a team are playing right now, I don't really think there's many teams in the NFL that can beat them, let alone a turnover-happy quarterback, a team that just can't hold on and keep the ball on offense. I don't know what they even are on defense. I don't know what they are on offense. Tampa Bay is just about an average or to below average team, whereas the Saints are probably going to the Super Bowl for the NFC if the Packers or the 49ers have nothing to say about it. So this is literally like 2 teams that don't even belong on the field together, having to play each other because they're in the same division. Could be a good game though because the Bucs always play the Saints very hard. The Saints are only favored by 6 with an over/under of 50.5, so they're expecting some points to be scored and it to be kind of a blowout, kind of not, a little bit less than a touchdown or a touchdown win really. So we'll see. I like the Saints beating the Bucs 35-21. Let's move on to the 4 p.m. games. This one, there's not much to discuss here. I know the 49ers just got beat, but they lost to the Seahawks, a respectable team, a team that is over 500 by quite a bit. So yeah, Arizona's having a good year. They're 3-6-1, a good year by their standards. You know what I mean? You got to consider, I think they won 2 or 3 games last year, so this is actually a pretty good year. Kyler Murray's having a pretty strong rookie campaign, looking like he could be a real NFL quarterback as he progresses. The 49ers defense is for real. They lost a close game to the Seahawks in overtime, I believe. Weird decisions on coaching kind of blew it for them. The 49ers are 13.5 point favorites, though, with an over-under of 45.5. Not really much to discuss here. 49ers are probably going to beat up on the Cardinals. Poor little Kyler. I mean, they almost did. They almost got him before, I believe. So we'll see how the Cardinals do this time, but that's why I have the score closer. You got to respect division games. You can't just assume a blowout in a division rivalry. So, oh boy, here we go. Patriots at the Eagles. The rematch, right? The game I've been looking forward to for 2 years, ever since Nick Foles and the stupid Eagles beat my Patriots in the Super Bowl. Patriots are coming off a bye. The Eagles, I believe, are also coming off a bye, so both teams off a bye. Patriots are 3.5 point favorites with an over-under of 44.5. Eagles are 5-4. Patriots are 8-1. The Patriots need to win this game to keep pace in the AFC to be the number 1 seed and get that first round bye with the Baltimore Ravens, because if they lose and the Ravens win, that would be 8-2. Boom, all of a sudden Ravens are the number 1 seed, Patriots are second. The Eagles need to win to keep their playoff and chances of the division alive. I believe they are in second place with that because they have the Dallas holds the tiebreaker right now. So both teams are fighting for something big. They're both playing for something very big at this point in the season. The playoff implications, playoff spots, maybe even not going to the playoffs if a loss happens for the Eagles. So there's a lot going on between the AFC-NFC game. Usually these are pretty pointless, but this time there's a lot riding on it late in the season. Two very good teams are playing each other, so should be an interesting game. I still think the Patriots have a very good defense. I know the Ravens kind of blew them out, but I think that's the kind of the Lamar Jackson effect. He's very difficult to play, and until you play him and learn how to defend him properly, I don't think a team's play him very well the first time through. You can see the Chargers last year when they beat him the second time they played him. You kind of adjust, you kind of learn how to play against him. You're never going to fully figure it out because he's a special quarterback, a special skill set, a special talent. Not many guys have ever had it. It's like him and Michael Vick. So it's really hard to coach for that. So I think that's part of what caught the Patriots off guard a little bit against Baltimore. And, they finally ran into some real talent, so it kind of gobsmacked them a little bit. They realized they're not as good as they are, so I'm sure they went into this week with a lot more coaching, with a lot better. I think they're going to be coming into this game a lot more fresh and a lot more prepared for their opponent than they seem to be against the Ravens. The Eagles, they're very inconsistent this year. They'll be losing by 17 points at halftime, then come back and win the game 35-32. So they're up and down. They're all over the place this year. They're very inconsistent, if you will. You're not really sure what version of the team you're getting on a week-to-week basis. Is it going to be the team that looks like they're favorites to win the NFC, or is it a team that can barely eke out a win against like the Redskins or something? Or just, you know what I mean? It's like it's very up and down season for this team, and I'm not really sure what's going on. I know they're dealing with some injuries. The coaching isn't the problem. They have very good coaching. I think it's the injury bug that's getting them, or they're just very inconsistent. A little bit of like really good team hangover. I don't really know. But it just feels like the Patriots are going to beat the Eagles this week. The Eagles, there's nothing really wrong with them. They're sort of inconsistent this year at 5-4. They can't seem to find a strong identity on either side of the ball. Sometimes they're good on defense, sometimes they're not. It's more than often they're not. They're sometimes good on offense, they're sometimes not. So the Patriots, their offense, it needs a lot of work. N'Keal Harry's going to be playing this game, so that should be interesting. That should be fun to watch. I don't know, man. This game was a little bit more difficult for me just because coming off a loss, it's a little bit harder to predict the Patriots and how they play. But I'm pretty certain that this game is going to have a whole bunch of Bill Belichick's DNA all over it. A little bit of a revenge game by the Patriots for that Super Bowl. So I like the Patriots in this one, 28-24. Patriots offense finally finds its identity, if you will, in N'Keal Harry being active. So, and Matthew Stafford probably isn't playing against the Cowboys, so that's another reason they're going to lose, just to throw that randomly out there. And this game doesn't matter. The Raiders are going to beat the Bengals. Bengals are 0-9. Raiders are 10.5-point favorites, over under a 48.5. So that's the end of those games. But so for the Lions, hold on. Lions and Cowboys, I think Matthew Stafford's not playing because of his back is broken again. So those are the 4 p.m. games. I have the Patriots beating the Eagles, 49ers over the Cardinals, and Raiders over the Bengals. Kind of some duh games, kind of one that, that's going to cause some problems. People be like, oh, Patriots fans, oh. Yeah, but really, it's a close game. A few less. It's probably a little bit of, whatever. Patriots win that one. Let's go to Sunday Night Football. This was going to be a very cool, fun game to watch when it was when it's on the schedule, but it's the Chicago Bears playing the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles. Rams are 7-point favorites with an over/under of 41.5. The Bears are only winning games when the other team can't score any points on them. Look at the Lions, 20-17. So if they're holding teams to under 20, they can win. The Rams are on the other side of on the other foot here. Their offense is playing pretty good again. They're finally back on the right page. They're going to be off a bye at home with Sean McVay coaching. They're going to be extremely well prepared for this game. They're going to be ready for everything Chicago has defensively. And that's pretty much what's going to happen. Chicago's offense is going to be irrelevant. The Rams' offense is going to be the only thing the Rams they're gonna have to try a little bit harder, but they'll eventually pull through. I think the Bears make some mistakes and give some points up to the Rams offense too. So, Rams defense. Sorry, I made a lot of weird mistakes in this video. It's just long day, but I think the Bears offense gives up a few balls to the Rams defense, and the defense for the Rams puts some points up. The Rams are going to score some points on offense. They're obviously far too talented to be shut out. So give me the Rams 28-17 over the Bears. Bears, I'm still not picking because of the offensive woes, and I said I wasn't going to pick them all season. So Monday Night Football, we have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers, and again, it's a game with the Chargers. I don't really care about the Chargers. I think Mahomes is going to play. He's finally due back. The offense has been all right. They're 6-4. The Chargers are 4-6. They need to win to keep ahead of the Raiders, I believe, who are... What the hell are the Raiders? The Raiders are 5-4, and the Chiefs are 6-4. So say they lose and the Raiders win, the Raiders jump up into first place. So the Chiefs are going to be playing with a little bit of desperation, a little bit of urgency, because they realize, oh shit, we've lost a few games now. Other teams are starting to catch up to our win total. So Mahomes coming back is a huge thing for this team. It's going to provide a spark for the offense. The defense has been playing very good for the Chiefs. So hopefully that trend continues for the team, or else they're in I'd be mad as hell if I was Mahomes out here like, really, you guys are going to play some decent football when I'm gone, but as soon as I come back in, you act like you don't know how to play again. That's that would be his luck, right? The Chiefs are 3.5 point favorites, 52.5 point over under. Yeah, that's a little bit high, but I don't know, just how inconsistent the Chargers are. I just don't really like them. I know the Chiefs have been inconsistent too, but they haven't had Mahomes for a few weeks, so kind of hard to hold that against the team when they don't have their star player, the key to the car, the engine, if you will. So I don't know. I like the Chiefs beating the Chargers 28-24. And that is all the picks that I have. My NFL pick'em record, I went 3-10 last week. I'm 88-9, 58-1 overall, which isn't a terrible record, but it's not the greatest, and it could be a lot better. So hopefully this week we improve on that. And yeah, so let's start to wrap this up. As you can tell, we're at the end of the video. Hopefully my picks are good. Hopefully I do better than 3-10, like maybe go 10-4 or like 11-3, 12-2 or something like that. Hopefully not another bad week where I pick way under 500. Worst week of my career, but leave your picks down below. I make sure to comment back to every comment. As you can tell, if you've ever watched something, I leave a reply to everything, at least one comment back. Subscribe, like the video if you're new around here. That really helps out. Subscribing helps out. You can join the channel if you want to give me some money. You can do that. Don't have to. Everything's free around here. Leave a comment. I'll comment back. What are your picks? How's your pick'em record going so far? Are you sad the NFL is already at week 11? Because I am. That means it's a 17-week season, so 6 games are left, folks. Very depressing. Very depressing. All right, well, this video is getting long. It's already 23 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap her up. But yeah, those are my picks for week 11. I hope you liked them. Leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Leave a comment down below. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for listening to this Dirty Rob TV presentation. I'm Rob, and go Patriots, beat the Eagles, and let's do this. Bye-bye.